Welcome back to the bright side. With the 2026 college football season rolling around the corner, I thought I'd do a special episode today where I give my 5 Michigan football hot takes for the 2026 college football season. Without further ado, let's get into it. My first take is that Michigan will have 2 1,000-yard rushers in 2026 with Savion Hyder and Jordan Marshall. Utah finished second in rush yards per game in 2025 in Jason Beck's system, and they had 3 rushers with 500-plus yards. That is Michigan's new offensive coordinator, Jason Beck, last year back at Utah. Jordan Marshall had 932 yards in 2025, and interestingly enough, he only had 9 carries per game through the first 5 games, while Justice Haynes was healthy, and then had 15 carries per game through the final 7 when Justice Haynes was out with injury. Justice Haynes, on the contrary, had 857 yards through only a 7-game sample size. So if Jordan Marshall rushed for 15 carries per game for a full season, he would have been at about 1,100 yards. If Justice Haynes had kept his pace for a full 12 games, he would have gone for 1,500, which could have won him the Heisman. And that doesn't even include any postseason games that would have been played. So going into 2026, Jordan Marshall is a proven commodity, and Savion Hyder is looking like he's going to be a bona fide freshman phenom. He is built like not a lot of true freshman running backs we have seen in college football. The second take is that Michigan will make the playoff in Kyle Whittingham's first season. They have a tough schedule. I cannot deny that. It would be a difficult feat getting through that schedule. They play 4 2025 playoff teams. But on the positive side, 2 of those games will be played at home. And Michigan finally has an adult in the room in Kyle Whittingham and in a lot of their coaches, not someone who will DM only fan models during halftime of one of their biggest games of the season. Kyle Whittingham is bringing a hard-nosed culture and a new maturity to the locker room that Michigan has been deprived of since Jim Harbaugh left. And for that, Michigan will make the 2026 college football playoff and maybe make a run. The third take is Michigan's O-line will win the Joe Moore Award in its first year under Jim Harding. They were semifinalists last year under Grant Newsome, and now they are under the direction of Jim Harding, who is largely regarded as the best offensive line coach in the country, and I think that would be a correct assessment. Michigan won the award back in 2021 and 2022, and honestly should have won it in 2023. Instead, it was given to Washington, who the Wolverines mopped the floor with in the 2023 National Championship and dominated them at the line of scrimmage. Michigan this upcoming year, they return almost their whole offensive line. They return their running back. They return their tight ends. So they have all of these guys who will help with the push up front, and I believe they will win the Joe Moore Award, especially when your offensive line coach just sent 2 players to the NFL in the first round, one of them being top 10, which was the highest taken Utah offensive lineman of all time. The fourth take, Bryce Underwood will improve drastically in 2026. He'll go for 3,000-plus passing yards and 750-plus rushing yards, plus 30 total touchdowns. He has a devoted QB coach now in Coy Detmer Jr. and is also receiving guidance from Jordan Palmer, who has worked with the likes of Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. Both of those guys in the NFL, they are pure passers, but they also have the ability to run with their legs. So this is the perfect coach to work on the side with Bryce Underwood. He is also now in a system where his legs will likely be his most important attribute, which will take stress off of his arm and allow him to improve comfortably into the season rather than being thrown to the wolves right off the bat like he was last year in Chip Lindsey's offense. His athleticism also will not be crippled, and he will not be held to just maybe 5 rushes a game. They will let him run free. So Bryce Underwood will improve big time in 2026. And coming with that, Michigan will right the ship in 2026 and take down Ohio State in Columbus for the third straight time. That is the final take and maybe the hottest. Michigan, honestly, they had a perverse head coach last year. He was not an adult in the room. He did not stay focused on football. He was completely unfocused and had his head in the wrong place. That is the fact of the matter. Now they have a guy who lives and breathes college football, and really college football only. He's been coaching college football for over 50%, well over 50% of his whole lifespan. And now he is in Ann Arbor. He is tough, and his teams, they often find success at the line of scrimmage and in the trenches. That is prototypical Michigan, and that is the same Michigan that beat Ohio State from 2021 to 2024. Michigan, like I said, they're also returning their whole offensive line, their running back, both of their tight ends, and that should leave Michigan in a great spot for great success in the trenches. Ohio State, they're also replacing 4 players from their superstar front 7 from last year that went undefeated in the regular season. And while Ohio State is returning most of their offense for this upcoming year, Michigan's defense should remain strong under Jay Hill, and they do have a lot of returning talent or some talent coming over through the transfer portal. That would be players like John Henry Daly and Smith Snowden coming from Utah, and Chris Bracey, who you will hear about in one of my future videos. He's coming over from Memphis. He will also have a big impact in our secondary. And with an improved Bryce Underwood and a solid group of returning stars, they pulled a lot of guys out of the transfer portal, and some guys that even entered and then withdrew, kind of like your offensive lineman Jake Guarnera and Andrew Sprague, and then on defense your Zeke Berries. Those guys are coming back, and this team with that group of stars will take down Ohio State in 2026 and will extend their streak to 3 straight years in Columbus. Now let me know in the comments below, do you agree or disagree with these takes? Let me know. Flame me if you want to. Agree as much as you want. I want to hear it from you guys. Thanks for watching The Bright Side, and as always, go blue.